If you have a PT that does this, it's a scam. Do not, just stay away from them. In today's video, we are about to cover a 32-year-old woman, a plus size woman at that, on her first time in going in the gym. I thought it'd be something interesting to kind of cover and see what actually happens when she goes. But because I have quite a few clients that when they first start going to the gym, they do have like a lot of gym anxiety about what's going to happen, how people are going to look at them, specifically probably because they're overweight. Even the ones I have that are slim, they get kind of worried about thinking that people are going to look at them and judge them, thinking they don't know what they're doing. So it'd be interesting to get it from this perspective because she's kind of the trifecta. She's a woman, she's over the age of 30, and she's overweight. So it'd be interesting to see how she copes. To give credit where credit's due, the person's name I think is Lucy Partington. This is an article she wrote. So we're going to be going through this, but we also have video footage because she films it as well. So before we get into the videos, I thought it'd be interesting to kind of at least start of her background. So as you can see here, she mentions that I've never really been somebody who's into working out. I was a girl at school that constantly tried to get out of PE, and as I grew older, exercise wasn't part of my life in any way whatsoever. I guess in some ways I naively assumed it was part and parcel of being plus size. People who look like me didn't exercise, and it wasn't a space I ever felt welcome in. In regards to her last section, you'd be very surprised how supportive most people are when overweight people step in the gym. Like, not the young little dickheads that you may get, the very rare few, but the majority of gyms I've been to, when someone overweight comes in, you almost get that kind of nod, like you're actually starting to make a change. Only idiots, pricks, and dickheads are the ones that will realistically make fun of someone that's in a gym looking to make a change. Trust me, most people in the gym are all for people improving their circumstances. They're not looking at you, judging you. Now with that being covered, let's get into the videos. So we've got 3 videos when they go over. So we have number 1, which is her very first time in the gym. She basically records what she does. The second one, which is voiced over from her personal trainer. So they actually talk about why they've made her do certain things. So I think it'd be interesting to kind of break down there. Do you think there were some changes we'd recommend, or did the PT nail everything that they gave her? And then thirdly, I think this is her after training for a whole year and getting her aspect. So let's get straight into the very first one when she first arrives in the gym.
This is actually also my first serious gym session in quite a long time. I really haven't been on it, and honestly, I could feel it. I started with a 20-minute session on the cross trainer, and I also walked down to the gym, which sounds really simple, but it's something that I just hadn't been doing. So this year, I'm making the effort to walk there as much as I can.
Personally, her walking to the gym, excellent scenario, because straight away, off the bat, you're being active. So you're actually making the walk to the gym. So if it's a 20-minute walk, that is dope, because you're going to do 20 minutes walks back. Initially, I probably wouldn't have recommended doing 20 minutes before weights on the cross trainer, because that is quite a bit of cardio, which will probably zap quite a lot of your energy for the actual workout. Personally, I would have probably capped the beginning cardio at like maybe 10 minutes max, then get into your workout. And if you want to do more cardio, do it after, simply just for the fact that doing quite a lot of cardio before you even get into the weights, it will take out a lot of your energy. So by the time you get to the weights, you're pretty exhausted. You want to make sure you have enough strength and energy in your body to really perform really good during the session. So but yeah, that's only a nitpick. It depends on what your goal is. If her goal mainly is increasing her endurance and cardio activity, then what she's doing is great.
Then we did 4 sets of seated rows, and I always find these really difficult for some reason. I think it's like my technique. For some reason, my wrist just goes a bit wonky. But anyway,
it's not her fault, it's the machine. In some of the gyms I go to, in the rows, they kind of have them kind of bent outwards. So when you're doing it, you don't feel too much on the wrist. An alternative to this that she could do is if you just get a bench, just do like a dumbbell row, do that either side, or you can do a barbell row, or you can do a double-handed dumbbell row, because then you can obviously move your wrists a lot more. But as a beginner, I can understand her sticking to the machines at first to make sure, 1, that your form is as best it can be, and 2, until you get confident in the gym, maybe doing other things. But yeah, that's just, you know, I'm just giving tips as and when I can.
It made me go on the ski erg of death, and I absolutely hate this, but we did it. And
I ain't gonna lie, I hate this machine too. I do it every so often because I like it as a challenge. For example, I'll aim for like 30 or 40 calories as fast as I can, then rest and do 40 calories again. You know what I mean? It's a very, very, very taxing exercise. So salute to her for doing it, because even me at my much lower body weight, this is a killer.
honestly, I feel like I felt every second. So we were doing some little circuits. So we did 1 minute of this followed by some deadlifts with a core bag. And I don't know why I just hate the ski erg so much. It's just, I just find it so hard.
There is something in saying if she truly hates it and she's not just being like a little bit of a funny person there, like, and being hyperbolic. If she truly hates the exercise, personally, I normally say, especially if you're someone that's not really into the gym, you should probably switch that out for something else, because once you start really hating something, you're gonna find it a drag, and when you're not really that motivated, you're gonna skip it anyway. So it may be better sometimes in those scenarios, just simply find an exercise that you enjoy much more that still is pretty good. But at the same time, as you become more into the gym and in general about building discipline, I do believe there are some merits in doing certain exercises or things in general that you do not love, simply because in real life, you have to start building discipline and do things you don't love. For example, I used to hate the rowing machine. I spoke about it in other YouTube videos, and I forcibly made myself do it for about 2 months, even though I hated it. And now I really love it. It's one of my favorite exercises, because I think it's because in my brain, I am so proud of the fact that I stuck with it, even though I hated it. And now that I'm pretty good at it, it just is an extra boost. But also in general, it just helps me be more disciplined with other areas in my life where I hate doing something. And it sounds small, but those little traits, once your brain gets used to forcibly doing things that you don't want to do, I think it builds better humans. When you actively avoid doing things that you need to do, but you don't want to do because you hate it, you get really entitled and really whiny, bitchy personality traits. You get very lazy. So that was a bit of a tangent. Back to her video.
But anyway, this is my pledge to get back into the gym properly. And if you're scared, then please don't be, because if I can go to the gym and actually enjoy it, then I feel like anyone can.
Absolute gem. What she said there, nailed it. That basically was, it nailed it. I don't even need to go into it more. What she said there was great. If she can do it, anybody can. Obviously, we all have different circumstances, but what she's trying to get at is, if someone that hated the gym as much as she did can get in there and actually stick with it, most people can. We're going to next go into the one where PT kind of breaks down the routine more and see how that goes. But in general, if you have someone that really hates the gym, send them this video, and you know, maybe it may just give them that little push to keep going. You know what I mean? When you see other people that may not be the massive fitness enthusiasts, stick with it. But yeah, man, I like seeing this stuff. You can see I'm kind of, yeah, man, I get happy when I see stuff like this, because people actively trying to better themselves, you can't hate it. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to hate when you see people really trying. You know what I mean? You have to be a real sad son of a bitch to be against that.
Welcome back to our mini series of joining me and Lucy on our PT sessions. So I always get Lucy to start on the cross trainer, and she does around 20 to 30 minutes here before I even come and find her.
I'm not going to say that this PT is doing this, but I do know that some PTs count this initial like 20 minutes as a part of their hour session. If you have a PT that does this, it's a scam. Do not, just stay away from them. This pre-20 minutes when they just tell you to go on a treadmill, that should not be included in the hour, because in reality, you can just show up 20 minutes earlier and do that. So if you have a PT that as soon as you show up, they just go, all right, go on that treadmill for 20 minutes or even 15 minutes, that's a red flag. What you should do is, if they always start the session in that format and you know it's going to be, you tell them, okay, we start at 2 o'clock. Oh, I got here at 1:45. I've done my 15 minutes already. And then you get into the main bulk of the workout. Don't let them suck up your time by doing loads of cardio. It's a scam. But in the event that she's not doing it for that reason, I do think that 20 minutes is a little bit too much in the intro, because it's going to tire you out, especially on the cross trainer. It's not like she's making her do something really basic. Like, the cross trainer can get kind of winded after 20 minutes. And you can see in her first exercise, you can see her face is already quite sweaty. But that's just my thoughts. Feel free to comment down below if you agree or disagree.
Strength training. So we're working on a lot of strength on the upper body and focusing on time under tension currently. So getting a lot of pauses in at the bottom of the reps and
I love it.
Slowly controlling it back up. I like to include a lot of cable work when we do our sessions, because the cables are so versatile and there's so many exercises that you can do with them.
I think this is actually probably the first time I've ever actually seen an overweight woman do pullovers, like cable pullovers. I've never actually seen that with my own eyes or in video. And if you're wondering what this exercise does, it's going to help build like your back and your lat muscles, simply because it kind of But when she loses weight, it will help give that kind of owl shape, because you build your lat muscles, it helps your waist look smaller.
So here we've got some straight arm pull downs and some tricep extensions. And can I just say how busy the gym was this day as well?
Small critique, but when she was going up on the tricep push down, she could have went higher. She's going to like almost parallel and going back down. If she lets it go a little bit more up, she'll get much of a bigger stretch in the arm and the triceps, and then be able to push down. I'm getting really gym heavy there. I may dial that back. But let me know if you find any of these tips helpful, or should I just stick to reviewing it?
Our session doing our conditioning style work, which is a combination of 10 calories on the ski erg and 20 kettlebell deadlifts. Now on the ski, Lucy is currently competing with herself for a 10 calorie time frame, and she's currently at 36 seconds, which is a
great tip. So when it comes to these things, compare you to you. Like, she's basically doing calorie challenges to herself. And I always say with cardio, for the most part, it's always better when you aim for calories, not minutes. Because if you aim for 10 minutes on the treadmill every single day, you're going to have the odd day when you feel lazy and you probably only burn half the amount of calories as normal. Whereas if you set a calorie number, it doesn't matter if you're lazy on the day. If it takes you an extra 5 or an extra 10 minutes, you hit that calorie number. That makes everything more equal. In regards to this exercise, the skier, she's doing it so kind of what I said I did. So she aims for 10 calories as fast as she can, and then she goes into the other one, and she always has a number. She does 10 calories, and I think she said 32 seconds. And she basically knows that's her number, so she should always aim to try and beat that. So as she gets fitter, she'll be able to get the 10 calories in 30 seconds and 29 seconds. Those are the best ways to track, because you're improving your own progress. You're not comparing to someone else. You're comparing you to you.
unbelievable pace. Lucy's currently doing 3 to 4 gym sessions a week, including spin classes, which is unreal, and I'm super proud of her. Tune in next year for our biannual mini-series.
Overall, I thought that was great. So let's go for the last one, which is her 365-day review of her sticking to the gym for a year. And I forgot to mention the last video, she did say that she trains 3 to 4 times per week. I think that's excellent. For most of my clients, that's what they train. I'll probably say 4 days on average is what most of my clients train, unless that they have like some specific goal that they want to get to and it's like a time crunch and they want to make it sooner. But usually it's 4 days a week, that's weights, and then any extra days maybe cardio or conditioning based. Also, by the way, if you actually enjoy this video, I'm kind of breaking down someone's exercise routine, feel free to let me know and I may try search out some other ones. This was just one that I casually saw because I saw the article first and I was reading it, and then I happened to then see she had an Instagram page where she had videos, and I thought it may be a pretty good topic. You know what I mean? There's many people out there that may benefit.
Can you believe it's been a whole year since my first PT session with Molly? I genuinely never thought I'd be someone who consistently goes to the gym, but here we are. And do you know what? I want to celebrate that. I never really give myself credit for anything, but this is such a big personal milestone for me, and it genuinely isn't something that I thought I'd ever achieve. I know that to most people I might look the same, but in the last year I've got so much stronger. I've gained confidence. I don't get back pain anymore. Molly says I move differently. I've been to spin classes. I've become a protein girly, and I've learned that being sweaty and being out of breath is actually so normal, and it happens to everybody. I do still have to force myself to go sometimes, and I don't always enjoy it, but I never regret going. And if sharing my journey gives just one person the confidence to try something new, then I'm happy, because if I can do it, anybody can.
Respectable. I understand what you're saying, that on the surface you're probably looking at it thinking like you're not seeing a massive drastic change in how she looks. That will probably be partially down to her diet, but in regards to the fitness aspect, even from the video clips that we've only seen little bits, you can kind of see that her mobility seems like it's improved, and she seems to be a bit better. Like the way she's getting up and getting down on the bot squats, and you know how she's moving, you can kind of see that her body to me looks less stiff, which is always a win. Like we don't even know if her goal was fat loss. It may have just been you know, just getting fitter in general. I do think you should probably aim for both, if I'm being completely honest, but this is nothing but a win in my opinion. Yes, could there be more progress like visually? Yeah. But the fact that she stuck to something for a year that she's not even used to doing, she's much more active and fitter, she's more mobile, these are all wins. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, you have to nail in your diet a little bit more and like focus on your nutrition and get into a calorie deficit. Because if she's exercising this much and hasn't had a massive change over a year, chances are that she's either eating back some of the calories, because when she comes back home from the training, she's quite hungry and eats more food, which is kind of almost balancing it out. Or it could just be the fact that she always eats too much in a surplus in general, and she just needs to gradually learn to make higher protein meals that are lower calorie, that she enjoys, that she can stick to, and then make progress from there. But overall, I still think it's a very good message to show out there, because it's great to see. Not everybody's going to look like a flipping fitness influencer where they're super shredded or super diced, and not everybody also is going to have a massive transformation. But in general, if you just look at her at the beginning when she's kind of moving, even though her form's pretty good, to be honest, like she's very controlling the way, I'm assuming the PT is telling her what to do. You look at the way her body's moving, it's a lot more slower and sluggish in the movements that she's making. So you can kind of see that she has improved. Yes, the other video I did show you was sped up a bit, but in general, you can just tell the movement patterns. She's moving more fluid in the newer videos. But as a whole, I still think it's a great message, and I wanted to share it because some of you out there may be scared to make your very first step. And all I'm saying is that you ain't got to make the perfect first step, but just make a step. And if you're someone that needs that extra bit of help, check out the link down below or check out these videos here. I'll be sure to put some videos there that really help you along with your journey.